Hi, this is JCartwright. Let me begin my persuasive speech from my speech communication class by presenting my audience. Good evening to my audience, classmates, and Professor Jones. I'm speaking to you today because I want to talk about a topic that I have strong convictions about, and that topic is the high cost of prescription drugs. In the United States, citizens pay the highest prices for prescription drugs in the world. Not surprisingly, prescription drugs are the area of the fastest growing healthcare expense and are projected to increase by 11.7% in 2017, according to a report by CBS News. An exploration of the reasons why prescription drug prices are so high in the United States revealed two primary factors that influence the cost of prescription drugs. These factors include the ability of pharmaceutical companies to manipulate and set drug prices as they see fit, and also within the U.S., no administrative body or policy prevents pharmaceutical companies from charging exorbitant prices or increasing drug prices as they please. In my opinion, the rising cost of prescription medication should be considered a national health epidemic. Patients are dying daily because they are choosing to skip taking their medications or recommended treatments because of the high and ever-increasing medication cost. To point out the pattern of outrageous rising drug costs, I will relay some shocking evidence from the Journal of Mayo Clinic Proceedings. For example, the average yearly price of cancer drugs increased from approximately $10,000 before the year 2000 to over $100,000 by the year 2012, per a recent study in the Mayo Clinic Proceedings. Likewise, more than a few innovative specialty drugs recently approved by the Food and Drug Administration have consequently entered the pharmaceutical market at substantial prices. For example, taking into account Biogen Idex's multiple sclerosis drug, Tecfidera, which costs $549,000 per patient per year. A second example is a hepatitis C cure from Gilead Sciences with a sticker price of $84,000 per patient. A third and final example illustrating the outrageous price of prescription drug treatments is Orkambi, a cystic fibrosis drug from Vertex Pharmaceuticals, approved recently by the FDA, priced at a monstrous $259,000 per year. These dropping facts can be found in an article by Ifrit Islam titled, "Rising Costs of Drugs, Where Do We Go From Here?" These types of unjustified and outrageous price hikes, which are put in effect out of sheer greed, should be considered criminal. When these kinds of outrageous price hikes encompass life-saving treatments, it's like putting a gun to someone's head and making them choose between pain or dying. According to Chris Moran, a journalist for the website Consumerist, the primary factor that inflates the cost of prescription drugs, besides the ability of pharmaceutical companies to set drug prices as they see fit, is the initial cost of drug development and production. Research is most significantly responsible for the cost factor of prescription drug development. Industry leaders claim that it takes up to 10 years and well over $1 billion to get new medications confirmed for use and marketed. Most often, these exorbitant costs incorporate the research and development expenses of the many drugs that don't work out and never make it to market. To recover research and development costs, drug developers set extravagantly high prices. However, occasionally, pharmaceutical companies will offer patients financial rebates to help offset the high cost. A second major contributing factor is that in the U.S., no administrative body or policy prevents pharmaceutical companies from increasing drug prices as they please. The Federal Trade Commission, the Food and Drug Administration, and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has no authority that can restrict the value that a pharmaceutical manufacturer can lay out for any drug they produce. Vast increases in the cost of prescription medications, such as the examples I have presented, have drawn congressional scrutiny but little to no action, And as a matter of fact, in keeping with the wishes of the powerful pharmaceutical lobby, Congress has evaded passing laws that would change how drugs are priced and how much consumers should have to pay out of pocket. This fact is confirmed in an article titled, "Congress Doesn't Scare Drug Execs into Lowering Prices" by the Associated Press. In their defense, pharmaceutical industry leaders say that the price charged for their medications are justifiable. Industry leaders assert that the prices they charge for medications reflect the cost drug-making companies need to recoup for their research, development, and marketing costs, not to mention the filing and protecting of their patents. The prices charged for prescription drugs, they claim, are necessary to safeguard incentives to develop drugs in the first place. Pharmaceutical companies conduct the research and development work required to formulate new treatments, and as compensation for this, they are unregulated to set the prices of their drugs as they see fit. Pharmaceutical companies state that if they are restrained from making a more than fair profit on their products, it may in fact harm their research budgets, which aids them to discover other new and valuable drugs, as reported by Alan and Harold Rubens on their website, therubens.com. In conclusion, patients in America are being harmed by high prescription drug costs. No American citizens should ever have to choose between paying for their medications and paying for necessities for themselves and their families. The strain over rising costs of prescription drugs leads many patients into debt, bankruptcy, or even risky cost-saving strategies, such as skipping doses to make their medications last longer, or worse yet, foregoing life-saving treatments altogether. Medication non-adherence due to high and ever-increasing prescription drug costs is quickly becoming a medical emergency in America and should be considered a public health epidemic. Instead of maximizing their profits, prescription drug makers should consider the human cost of their high and ever-increasing prescription drug prices. Thank you. This concludes my speech.